Hello, welcome back to my channel. I went MIA for various reasons. Most of the reason is because the person who was editing for me was no longer available. But if you are watching this, please let me know you're alive. So that's the most of the reason. I did start school and just life got really busy, more busy than usual. And it is a lot of work to put out content, and I'm also unsure of the direction which I'll be headed in terms of this podcast, whether I'll go completely with voice or continue with this video. Also, if I want it to just be me going over topics or me having a guest, it'll likely me having a guest because it is easier to get a different perspective. And also, I'm in school and I'm already researching and writing, and then doing that for this too is really difficult. But besides that, hopefully there will be more videos up and I can be more consistent. It'll likely be once a month, if that. But I'm making this video because I was a guest in another Jubilee video, this time as a middle ground participant for the conservative versus progressive Christians. And I have the video here. I'll be adding some commentary and just talking about my experience. And yeah, and I was also really unsure if I wanted to record this because my biggest thing is that me as a person, I don't like being misunderstood. I try my best to love people and hear them out and extend grace to them and respect, and I try my best to do that, and I assume that people do the same for me, and that's obviously not the case all the time because, we all have our own mindset and biases. And so I decided to record. Hopefully this goes through that. Yeah, I wanted to be able to have some commentary, talk about my experience, and hopefully help someone else out, because I will be honest and say that before even going onto the video, when I got the call and I was told that I was going to be able to be in it, I told some family and some friends, and they were actually not sure what side I aligned with. And that was a little bothersome because I know that there's a phrase, it's stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And I'm pretty grounded in my beliefs and what I stand for. But I extend an open mind and try to hear people out. And I think sometimes that's taken off as, oh, she's kind of wishy-washy, which I know that I'm not, but I'm trying to just be respectful of other people. So anyway, I was a little bothered that that was what was assumed, but at the same time, most of my family and friends I didn't fart, oh my gosh, my chair. Most of my family and friends are part of the Apostolic Pentecostal faith, where hair color, piercings, tattoos, makeup, pants, all of that stuff is usually frowned upon. So because I participate in those things or I look a certain way, it's assumed that counts as progressive. But in terms of doctrinal stuff, I've never doubted that. Excuse me. So anyway, after this filming, it was a few hours of filming. I had never had that day was just a really, really emotional day, for various reasons. And I'm not an emotional person. And so I was crying, and I was just in my feelings. And, when the video came out, I was also in my feelings, and I was really unsure about even filming this to begin with, because I'm just assuming that it's not relevant and my opinion isn't really necessary, but I do want to make sure that I am heard. because, at least just for me, like, I don't care who hears this, but I'm hoping that hopefully it'll be helpful to someone. But anyway, I left that filming feeling really, really disheartened, and I don't know what other word to describe it, because I don't know exactly how I was feeling, but it didn't feel good. I didn't doubt my faith. I wasn't shaken. I was just really hurt, because I know so many people who have left the church completely, left the faith, or left God, or left like conservative Christianity, or watered down the truth, or whatever, as the video says. So I was just hurt, and not confused about who God was or what I believe, but confused as to how people can read the same Bible and take something so differently. However, I have been doing a lot of research. I have been listening to various people, and Alisa Childers and Vadi Bakum, I think is his name, just stuff like that, to have an understanding of the progressive sides. Lisa Gungor, I also was listening to, Mike Winger. So some of the people I was listening to just like have an understanding of where they're coming from, and see what the difference was, and watch like some of the reaction videos to see what people were saying, just out of pure curiosity. Like, I know it's not relevant, and I do read the comments just because I don't know. I have problems. Anyway, so I'm gonna get into this, and yeah, so basically I had this assumption that progressive Christians didn't read their Bible, didn't know who God is, didn't have the Holy Ghost, didn't have the Holy Spirit, just totally were misinterpreting God's words. But what I've come to realize is that I think the basis is, and I'm going to put some information below. I'm going to put a video about what I believe about the Bible. I'm going to put a video about a preaching my pastor gave about the inerrancy of the Bible. And like this video mentions inerrancy and hermeneutics, and I think that is the basis for the fundamental difference between progressive and conservative Christianity. And actually, I watched a response video. An atheist had responded, and he made a good point to where I'm in a recovery program, and they basically say take what you like and leave the rest, and that's not what the Bible is supposed to be. And so I think that's just the basis of the fundamental difference between the two sides. So anyway, I'm just gonna play it and then respond. I have it on 1.5 times fast. So yeah, I talked about what my assumption was about. I was obviously wrong about my assumption. They love God as much as I do. It's just their foundation is different than mine. And actually, our first prompt was not put into this video. The first prompt was something about is God a he? And that wasn't put in there, but I do believe that God doesn't have a gender, because God is God, but Jesus was a he, and we are the church, the bride, and he is the groom. So that would make me think that God is a he and the bride is a she. So yeah, and then I'll probably bring that up when we talk about the LGBTQ. Yeah, also some of the stuff that I had said was edited out, and which is fine, because I feel like my point was taken at the end, and actually I had some time to think about it, and I do feel like I'm glad that the end is what was taken after everything, because I'll get into that in a little bit. I will say that, yeah, I was just really nervous filming. I was just fidgety. I was just uncomfortable, and yeah. And actually, some of the responses that I was seeing on like this video, I have a really big problem with people who are just saying unnecessary rude things. Like, someone was mad that it was called conservative versus liberal Christians because that's like defining politics or whatever. And that kind of bothered me because conservative just means like to yourself and liberal means like more free. So anyway, so the first prompt was the Republican Party embodies Christianity more than the Democratic Party. And I actually had said some stuff that was not put in there, but I totally get it because it was like hours of conversation. But some people recognized me from the Odd Man Out Trump video, and I did vote for him in 2016. If anyone's wondering, I did not vote for him in 2020. I just decided to not participate in the two-party system, just a personal conviction, and because this world is not our home and God is still sovereign, and it just got really, really divisive even in the church, and I'm just not okay with that. So anyway, I don't feel like the Republican Party embodies Christianity because, like, the Bible isn't just for America. The Bible is for everybody. And I understand that this channel and I live in America, so it is geared towards Americans, but I just feel like it's very, very exclusive to just say that, like, if you're a Christian, you're going to vote Republican, and if you're a Democrat, like, you're a sinner. Like, I have friends who are Democrats in the church. I have friends that are Republican that are not in church, and so it doesn't seem fair to say that one political party stands for something, because all they're really doing is just trying to get votes and get wins, and I'm not okay with saying that one party defines a Christian or a party should like be whatever. And I actually did a video about politics and I talked about that. I don't remember I don't like to watch myself, but yeah, I just don't think it's fair to put a Christian in a category that way, mostly because the Bible is inclusive to all people. And when it does come to abortion, I do believe that life starts at conception, and I would never want to hurt a child, and I'm not God, so I wouldn't want to say whether or not a child should be taken. I do think especially in America, there's birth control, there's condoms. Yes, the church needs to be more open and honest and talk about sex education and be really transparent. But I also think that, I said something. Oh, I know what I said in this one. I also think that parents need to do a better job of talking to their children about sex. And I also am against the death penalty, and Republicans are for the death penalty, and that's not Christ-like either. So I don't think the Republican Party can just claim. I think that the Republican Party uses evangelical Christians, like Mike Pence is an evangelical Christian. I think that they use them to get votes and to get to get Christian votes, basically, in the same way that I think Democrats use minorities to get their votes. So the next prompt is that LGBTQ couples should be allowed to get married in the church. I actually was going to say, why would they want to get married in the church? And actually, as you hear in the video, Kurt is a gay pastor. So I'm sure that he marries a lot of LGBTQ plus couples. And I was actually contemplating sharing my personal testimony with this. I did bring up conversion therapy that was also not in the video. I've seen people's lives really, really messed up by conversion therapy, and I'm not okay with that. I don't think that embodies Christ at all. I don't think that that's okay. I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's loving. I think there should be a different approach, And I'm attracted to the same sex. I'm attracted to women in the same way I'm attracted to men. And I really, really appreciated what Angel had to say, because I've heard his story many times. And actually, I really enjoy Jackie Hill Perry's story. I think it's really beautiful. I think her ministry is beautiful. And I really think her marriage is beautiful too, because I tend to be someone who is more independent and have a hard time being submissive. So I really enjoy her testimony. And so I just thought that I saw a lot of comments saying that they felt so bad for him, and it's his life. Like, if he's happy, and like, it is hard. And actually, I was listening to Brenda, God is Gray, talk about the LGBTQ community, and she was talking about self-control. And I thought that was really interesting that she mentioned that, because part of the fruit of the Spirit includes self-control. Like, we're supposed to have self-control whether or not you're gay. And I think the church just needs to do a better job of addressing it. I don't feel like it was addressed well with my situation. I was basically just told that I wasn't allowed to see her, and that we weren't allowed to go to events together. And I understand, but it just wasn't handled well. And I dated this person like all through high school because I was like being rebellious. Let's see what the next.
It is the basis of transphobia in many cases. If you see
so she's talking about, Brenda had mentioned that we weren't really responding to why are there suicide rates up? Why are LGBTQ trans people committing suicide, getting bullied, getting murdered? And we live in a sinful world. Like, we each have free will, and the Bible is not the basis for why people are getting murdered. Like, you can say that about why are babies being murdered? Why are minorities being murdered? There's a homelessness crisis. Like, I think there's so much negativity in the world, and it's just like this. I think that there's a reason why the LGBTQ issue is such a big issue. And actually, I heard some responses to the video saying that we did talk about that for a long time, which we did. We had to cut short other prompts because we talked about this so long. I do think it's a sin, and similarly to Angel, I guess if you gave me a term, like, I'm attracted to both sexes, but if you get, I believe everything that Angel was saying, and I agree with that, and I choose to love God more than I love myself, and that includes that I'm not going to live in the flesh, and I'm going to choose to love a man. So let's see. Like, the Bible is not causing the pain. It's our free will and our choices that cause the pain. And I did bring up 1 Corinthians 6, 9 through 10 because I like verse 11 because it says, such were some of you, but like God changed us, which is the whole point of us. When we give our life to God, we should be changed and we become a new creation. And I know that if I'm actively sinning, I'm not going to enter the kingdom of heaven. And that's more important to me than being liked, being accepted by society, or finding a female partner. I do want to honor. My thing died. I want to honor God in my relationship, and so I'm so sorry that the lighting is bad now, but my light died. But I do want to honor God in my relationships, and I can't do that if I'm married to a woman. Excuse me. And the whole conversation is the fundamental reason we disagree is because of the inerrancy and because of, like Jason said, the hermeneutics. And those are honestly new, like, vocab words to me. I haven't studied the Bible as much as I should, but I think that is just the fundamental difference. And so we also, before we recorded, we were told that everything needed to be a personal opinion and try not to use the Bible as much, because it's obvious that we're all Christians, so we all read the same Bible, but it's more of a personal experience. So we were told to like limit our Bible usage. So I think that's part of the reason why we weren't really able to like hear each other out or get to the fundamental reasons why we are so different in our views. Okay, let me see.
Know what the Bible says, or to serve in different departments. And I always questioned, why are divorced people able to serve?
So I also agreed with Olivia about some sins are put on a pedestal and others are not. And why are certain people still allowed to serve? Why is this guy, why is he not able to serve because he's gay, but this person who had a divorce and had a baby out of wedlock, why are they allowed to serve? That is something that should be addressed in churches, and hopefully you're at the right church that does address that. I also think part of the reason, like, I don't understand why people don't, if they're not happy in their church, why they don't visit another church. Like, it's 2021. We can very easily Google a church near us. We can it's like everything's on Zoom, everything's online now, so it should be that much easier. Okay, let's see.
Are you bisexual?
Okay, so there's Angel's story. Okay. When Kurt was saying that his friends showed him the love that the church didn't, I related completely. There was a situation a few years ago where I felt like I was demonized and I lost a lot of friendships. It was obviously choices that I made, but I almost left the church because I felt hurt. I felt hurt by the church. I felt hurt by people, and it sucked. But then like he said, I realized it wasn't God who hurt me. It was people, and we all fall short. We all fall short of the glory of God, and I had to do a lot of soul searching. I had to, it was hard, but like, I love him because he loved me first. And I was really sad at his situation. I did see a comment, I think on Angel's channel, about if Kurt was given the same love and respect that Angel was given, maybe his situation would be different. And I would agree. I think we just really need to be loving and caring towards people. The next prompt was Jesus would protest in the BLM movement. And I disagreed because I'm going to link a video about the true intentions of the Black Lives Matter movement. I think obviously Black lives do matter. The Bible calls us to love the widows and the children and help the oppressed, and that is Christ-like. I also don't think it's Christ-like to have universal health care. That's not, you take, like, okay, well, I try not to get too political because it's just like the world's gonna end, and it's like not a huge, it is a huge deal, but like the Bible, it's biblical that the rich are gonna get richer and the poor are gonna get poorer, so I can't like fight that. But anyway, I'm gonna link a video about the Black Lives Matter movement, the like ideology that I don't agree with. Obviously, I think Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna like love my neighbor as myself and treat people respectfully and lovingly, but the movement as a whole, that organization, no. And I'll link why if you're interested in knowing why. Then there was like the other side misrepresents Christianity. I think I was able to explain myself pretty well. And then, we went over I can't even say the word right now. Hermeneutics is a theory and methodology of interpretation, especially interpretation of biblical text, wisdom, literature, and philosophical text. So that's what that is.
The gospel for what it is. That without the gospel, people are going to hell. That's a very
Pastor Jason does have a point, and after he said that, I said something similar to what Angel said, and I understand. He talks in the same way my original pastor did. And I get it. I understand. It's a word of God. And actually, pastors are supposed to talk that way. Pastors are our shepherds, and they're supposed to correct us. And I think a lot of people like don't leave a church or get really bitter and resentful towards their pastor without talking to their pastor personally. You should be able to have a relationship with your pastor, and I think that shows a good leader. And like, I think people have an issue with confrontation, and so they'll just leave a church instead of talking to their pastor. And I ask people to do this to me, and I do this to people. I let someone know what's wrong, because how can I change? How can you change if you don't know what the issue is? And the way that Pastor Jason talks may hurt people, but he's pastoring a church, and there are people who like it enough to go to his church. And so like, the sheep will be like their shepherd, and like God is our main shepherd, but like the pastors are shepherds too. And so find a church that you like, that, well, I gotta be careful saying that, because obviously like there are progressive Christians who find the church that they like. But when I was searching for a church, my like spiritual like mentor was telling me, make sure that when I leave a church, I'm not leaving with hurt, that they speak the truth, that I feel the Spirit, and that even if it's small, even if it's a large church, that I'm there and allow God to use me, and that I'm fully healed before I leave church, because I did have a lot of church hurt when I was trying to leave. And then my closing statement, I saw a comment that was just like, our goal is not heaven. I was nervous, okay? I said what like I was thinking. And obviously our goal is not to go to, I mean, like, we want to go to heaven, but it's like we want to be with God. Our soul, we were created to worship and love God, and our purpose in life is to preach the gospel and bring others to Christ. And so when I said like we're going to heaven, or like our goal is heaven, I wasn't meaning like, oh, I need heaven. I was saying that like we want to get to God. That is our goal. And I like just recently felt at peace with everything. And the reason why is because, like I said in the end, like, this life is temporary. I just need to make sure that I'm hearing God, feeling convicted, reading my Bible, living a godly life, and being like in communion with people and my church and my leaders, because this life is temporary. And I think the political stuff, I think the like all of the craziness going on in life, like, it's all just a distraction. And at the risk of sounding like a crazy conspiracy theorist, it's like, read Revelations, really I'm studying that right now, and I feel at peace with everything that's happening, whether that be in the political parties, whether that be with the pandemic, whether that be with my personal life. I can feel at peace with everything, because this world is not my home. There is a bigger agenda. I don't need to sit here and fight with someone about whether or not they agree with my stance on Christianity. I can plant the seed in someone's heart, but God is going to be the one who changes their heart. I can't do that. I don't have the power to do that. And the reason why I said I don't have the power to tell someone whether or not they're going to heaven is because I can't. I don't know enough to say that, and I don't have the authority to condemn anyone to hell. So that's what I meant. I'm sorry that this video is long. I'm really grateful that you tuned in, and I will try to put more content, and hopefully you enjoyed this video, that you're able to love your neighbor as yourself, that you like, comment, and subscribe, and that you can hear me because I have a microphone. And sorry about the lighting. And I can honestly say I feel at peace with this video. I promise you, I was so uneasy about it before, but I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity. Even though a lot of my stuff was cut out, it's fine. I feel loved, cared for, and I hope you enjoyed this video.